Right, it looks like we are all here. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andy Shepherd. I am the host of BAMMA. I'm your host today. Thank you all for joining us here at the SSE Arena in Belfast. An arena where on February 24th, BAMMA and Bellator will be making, their first appearance here in Belfast. BAMMA especially have been in Dublin now for over a year, I think it's been. We've had some incredible shows. So I know everyone here is very excited about coming here to Belfast. The crowds here, we know, are going to be absolutely fantastic. We have the stars of the show up here today. We're going to be hearing from them all in just a moment. But first of all, before we hear from them, let's hear from the MD of BAMMA, Mr. Ashley Bothwell.
Yeah, hi guys, thank you very much everyone for attending today. First of all, why we came up to Belfast, we're super excited to be here. It's a venue and a location we've been looking at for a long time. On the back of some great shows out in Dublin, I mean December was fantastic, an electric atmosphere, and we were looking at Belfast before that. And timing wise, it was all about what could we put together and what would make it worthwhile being up here. So it all sort of came about, firstly, Norman and Paul, that fight we were able to put together. And we thought that was a cracking headline fight for the BAMMA card. It's a huge fight, both sides, Dublin, Belfast. You know, it's a huge fight for us to be able to put on. So it was a great one for us to base the card around. And then we looked down and we thought, well, what else can go on there? And you know, there's just so much talent at the moment within the BAMMA fold from all parts of Ireland. And even just looking down this desk here, we've got Decky fighting BAMMA again, got a huge fight against Jonathan Brookins. We've got Rhys McKee defending his title, won out in Dublin, big defence for him. And obviously, further down the line here we've got Andy Young fighting for the interim title. Stunning fight last time out, put in an absolutely 5-star performance. And you know, we're delighted that he's coming out again in the co-main event. So, looking at the BAMMA side of the card, we think even just on that section, we've got enough to come to Belfast, do the place justice, and yeah, super exciting card.
And actually, this is the second time that BAMMA have paired up with Bellator. Can you tell us sort of how that came about and how this second one has kind of materialised?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty organic process, to be honest. We went out in December in Dublin together. And obviously that was a case of let's see how it all works, let's see how the two sides combine, how we work together. And both sides just really enjoyed it, the process. I mean, you know, I think they worked very well together, the promotions, very easily worked together seamlessly. Everybody enjoyed it, and I thought the night was absolutely amazing. It was a cracking atmosphere just before Christmas, and you know, electric crowd, and I think everybody just came out of it with really good vibes. And it was like, you know, when the option came up to go do it again, we were like, let's go do it again. So, you know, from our perspective, for a fan basis, you know, you've got everything that I've just spoken about from the BAMMA side of things. And you add on to that James Gallagher, you know, coming back from an epic performance last time out, and obviously again, crowd went nuts for that fight. Sinead on an absolute tear, you know, stepping up one more time, and gentleman to the right and left of me. You know, so many storylines within that fight, and that's just going to be an absolutely huge one to top it all off. So, from our perspective, I think we're bringing everything to the party. You know, it should be an absolutely huge show.
And moving forward with Bellator, this is the second time you've done it in only a handful of months. Do you see this as a continuing relationship?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something where, as I said, it's an organic process, us guys working together, and I think the fact that we're doing another show so soon out, after the last one, bodes well for future partnerships and working together again. So, you know, watch this space. I think we're going to have a lot of stuff to announce for this year, some really exciting stuff, you know, for UK and Ireland. So, yeah, watch this space.
Well, great. Let's talk about the Bellator main event first of all. Chris Fields versus Liam McGarry. Chris, first of all, BAMMA fans will know you very well. An unfortunate kind of last 12 months for you. A number of fights have fallen through for a number of reasons. We're all very excited to see you in there. Going up against an incredible opponent in Liam. When you look at Liam, you look at his record, you look at the people he's been up against, such as Tito Ortiz. How much of a challenge do you see this fight as?
It's a massive. Do I need to talk into the mic or?
Talk into the mic.
Okay. It's a massive challenge. I'll bring this across so it's be more natural.
Good mic.
Yeah. It's a massive challenge for me. But it's one that I've been ready and waiting for a long time now. Obviously Liam's a fantastic fighter. I've been watching him fight for a long time. But they're the guys I want to test my skills against. You know. And I feel like I have the skill set to beat him. Obviously, he feels like he has the skill set to beat me, or he wouldn't be here. But yeah, so it's a big opportunity for me.
Well, again, we're very excited. You're an Irish MMA legend, I think it's fair to say. But do you think after the last year that this is a fight that you're ready for and that you just sort of deserve?
Well, I've had 5 fight camps in 12 months, and like what I've been doing in those fight camps, because I've been fighting a light heavyweight now, is I've just been gathering information, and my skill set has improved a lot. So probably my last performance on BAMMA is one of my best performances to date, and then I'm 10 times the guy I was then, so I'm excited to show it off.
How frustrating is this 5 fight camps back to back being with only a handful of fights, and how ready are you for this big challenge?
It was frustrating when it happened, but you know what? It was a good opportunity for me to improve, and that's what nearly everyone on this desk is here for. And then you know, if those things hadn't have happened, I probably wouldn't have this opportunity. It's such a big opportunity for me, so you know, everything comes good in the end.
And Liam, you know, your record speaks for itself. Former Bellator champion, you've got some incredible scalps on your record. Tito, I think, is the one that everyone will recognise. When you're looking at Chris as an opponent, how much of a challenge is? Are you seeing this as a challenge, or are you seeing past this onto other things?
No, you can't see it look past any fight. You know, this is MMA. Anything can happen. The guy will train. Everybody, as he said before, I've had the skill set. He thinks he's got the skill set. That's what makes MMA so exciting. You know, I'm going to be prepared. The guys I've fought over in America, yeah, they're tough guys, but I mean, I've been watching BAMMA. BAMMA's been making a lot of noise over in America. Yeah, the guys, they're tough guys, and I've always said this along. England, Ireland, they have some of the toughest guys in the world, you know, and it's great that they're now getting the platform to perform on these shows. Bellator, BAMMA, it's getting showed in so many countries. So many people are talking about these events, and everybody's name is always getting mentioned. You know, half of these people along here, I've been watching them since I've been over in America, and it's great to actually finally meet them and be on the same show as these guys.
Again, you've been fighting over in the States. Although we're going to be in Northern Ireland, it's somewhat of a homecoming for yourself to come back over here. You know, fans from England can come over here. Are you excited about fighting closer to home?
I cannot wait, man. 5 years was the last time I fought over in Jersey, and as soon as my manager said it's like, what about Belfast, I was like, get me on that card. Especially after my last performance, I wanted to get in and get a fight straight away. You know, I didn't want to hang around and wait. The layoff was the cause of my, I believe, of the loss. But so I was just going to get straight back in. I've got friends coming from Ireland, all of England, Jersey, Scotland. They're going to be coming in from all over. I mean, most of them can't come over to America. It's a long flight for them, but this one's a hop, skip and a jump, you know. So it's going to be a very, very exciting show.
And what kind of challenges do you think that Chris is going to pose for you?
He's long. He's tough. You know, he's proved he's got some jiu-jitsu skills. He's got some power. You know, like I said, this is MMA. You're going to have to. I have to be careful of wherever I go, and just as he has to be very careful wherever he goes as well.
And Chris, the same question for you. What are the challenges? What do you think your keys to success are going to be with someone like Liam?
Not to get triangle. That'll be a good start. You know, that's something he does very well. He's got a very good jiu-jitsu game. Like I was saying, I've watched him fight a bunch of times. He's a good striker. He's good off his back. He's dangerous. You know, he's dangerous in all areas. You don't get to where he is in his career without being dangerous in all areas. So it's a good fight. It's a good fight for me. It's a good fight for Liam, and it's a good fight for anyone that likes MMA. It's going to be an exciting fight.
BAMMA fans will have mainly seen you at 185. You're a big guy for that weight. You've come back to 205. You seem a lot more comfortable at that weight. But you know, you've only had one fight up at that weight so far. This is going to be a big step up in class. At that weight, how prepared do you think you'll be for this?
Well, like, light heavyweights are not bigger than me. We can stand down there and be like, I'm as big as any light heavyweight. I was an idiot cutting all the weight I was for something. Young and dumb. But like, that's just how it is. That's done. I've grown in. I've had the time, because I've had all the fight camps without the fights, I've had the time to actually grow into my frame, which I was never allowing my body to do. So, like, I'm the same. I stood beside a lot of light heavyweights that are world class, and they're nowhere near different to me. So.
Fantastic. Right, let's take a look at the BAMMA main event now. Paul Redmond versus Norman Park. Paul, let's go to you. This is a fight that It's going to be on the cards for most of your careers. You're both, boys who've come through the ranks together. You know each other very well. How are you feeling going into this fight with someone that I know you know, respect, and you can almost say friends with?
Norman was always that sort of year or two ahead of me, maybe even a little bit more. He was a sort of professional way longer than I was, so I'd always sort of followed Norman's career. Then he made it to the UFC, and sort of did I then as well. Sort of our career sort of went the same way. So yeah, it's an interesting fight. I think it's a pretty good one for the fans then as well.
Both of you are UFC vets. I've spent a bit of time with you this week actually. I remember you said as you were kind of coming to the ranks, you'd look to someone like Norman, you sort of saw him. He was always a step or two ahead of you just because of the way his career had gone. Do you see this as an opportunity for you to kind of go, well, you've always been a step ahead, actually now I'm the one who's moving forward?
Yeah, well, I don't see it so much like that. I see it so much as I think there's two of the sort of really top guys in Ireland at the minute. Obviously one guy has to win, and whoever comes off the back, he will be the top dog down in Ireland that way,
I think that's a fair point to make actually, that whoever wins this fight is really going to be looked at as definitely the top lightweight in Europe, and we all know what people in BAMMA go on to do. Look, one of the best lightweights in the world. So this is a big fight for you. How much does this mean, this fight for you?
Look, it's a huge fight. I said to you yesterday, Norman's fought sort of the toughest guys out there. He's taken fights with Brazilians down in Brazil, some fights I thought he probably would have won, and he just dropped sort of decisions because they were down there, so I think he was a little bit hard on by the UFC then as well. But yeah, it's a massive fight, and like I said, a winner like this, it's just going to be like sort of top dog in the world.
And BAMMA fans will have seen you make your debut at our last event in Dublin. It was, a fantastic event. What are you expecting from the Belfast fans?
Yeah, expected to get lashed now with bills, to be honest. But I think I'll have a bit of support up here. There's a lot of from sort of Dublin that travelling up, and then I think the Belfast fans or the Northern fans, obviously Norman will get his cheers, but I don't think I'll be cheated that bad on the night. And then look, it's all just sort of fan banter then at the end of the day as well. You win, they either get booed or cheered, and then the two is going to fight. Then you just go with a drink after or whatever.
Norman, this is going to be your BAMMA debut. It's going to be a big fight for you. They're putting you in at the top of the card. It's going to be a fantastic night. How are you feeling coming into this?
I'm feeling great. As soon as I got the name for it, was Paul Redden. Actually, it was Taylor Lopez. I think was the first fight that was offered to me, and then I wasn't really too excited about that. And then he came back with Paul Redden, and I thought, okay, I think this fight sells a bit more, to some people for the wrong reasons. But anyway, it's North v the South, and I'm feeling very optimistic about this fight. It's a good matchup. I get great respect for Paul and his team. They've known each other for a long time, and we fought in the same circuit for most of our careers, and it's only a matter of time before the fight actually happened. And we've been to the big stage, and here we are fighting for the BAMMA world title. So I'm looking forward to this one.
And you know each other very well. As you said, you fought in the same circuit together. You live very close to each other. Does that make it more difficult or easier to fight someone you know that well?
Yeah, well, I can. I've already experienced that a few times. Like for instance, in the Ultimate Fighter, I got very close with Colin Fletcher and Brendan Knockney, so there was that that friendship thing in between. But you can't blank that out. But it does come into play. It'll only come into play if you let it come into play. And so this fight here, it's if you let it come into play, then it could go against you, it could work for you. But I feel like it's just, as Paul says, it's just two top martial artists going in there and putting it on the line, and to see who's the top contender in Ireland. And
again, this is BAMMA's first card here in Belfast, so close to home for you. Literally a hop, skip, and a jump. How does it feel to be headlining such a huge card?
It's great. I said when I was offered the fight, I said, I want to be the main event in the Belfast card, and I didn't know that the Bellator was joined for this show, and I found out there a couple of weeks ago. So that makes it even more special, because there's a lot more audience going to be watching the fights. And the last time was, as Liam says, the last time he fought in home soil was like, what, 2000 when? 2000?
5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years, 6 years ago for me. Like it was 2010, 11 I think it was for Cage Contenders. So, the support that night was unbelievable. I think there was like 4,000 fans for Cage Contender, but look how much the game has advanced. Like since the whole Ireland thing, the whole thing with Conor McGregor, just how much the popularity of the sport has advanced since then, since 6 years. So I feel like the support of Belfast is going to be unbelievable. I know the UFC, I came there just like a few months ago, and it was not like Dublin. Dublin was the best experience I've ever had, but I'm hoping here with the support that I'm bringing along, it can imitate what it was like in Dublin.
And of course, you're coming out of the UFC, you're coming here to an exciting time for you, but how much of a must-win fight is this for you?
Every fight's a must-win fight, you know. I'm in there to win every fight. You know, one thing I can say about my last fight, you know, I can sit and make excuses all I want, but if you don't put the time into the training, and if you don't put the effort in, if you don't, you know, it's like anything else. If you cheat the game, if you cheat the grind, it'll come back to bite you. So, like my last fight with Andrew Fisher, I only trained a couple of times up at my local gym. I just did my own thing, you know. I thought my head was going to be too big, too strong for him. And then when you're in the fight, you realise that it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be as easy as that, so you got to dig deep. So I had to dig real deep in that fight, and I was lucky. I was actually lucky. He caught me in the first round, and I had to. It was my wrestling that brought me through the fight. You know, I wanted to stand and trade, but it was my wrestling that brought me through the fight. So this fight, I made sure I put the preparation and I put the training in for it. Put a lot more round sparring in, and I think that'll make the difference in the fight.
Thank you. And let's go back to the Bellator card now. Mr. James Gallagher, we saw you at the first Bellator card we had over in Dublin. You took the roof off, I think it's fair to say. What are you expecting from the crowd up here in Belfast?
The exact same, if not more. I feel like this one is going to blow the Dublin one out of the water. I feel like, especially it's a lot closer to where I come from, Strabane, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who's going to be travelling up. And the last time I had my whole town came to Dublin, travel all the way, and that's an expensive trip. You know what I mean? That's a couple of grand trip to float up, take time off work, buy the tickets, hotel. It's not a cheap trip, and to have like a whole town come all the way up and support me, and they're going to do the same in this one, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? No one can take that feeling away from me. I feel like it fills me with pride to really feel like I've got that support, and I'm still young, I'm only 20 years old, I turned 20, and I've still got a long way to go. I'm nowhere near where I want to go yet, and I'm just building on it and keep going, keep racking up the wins, and it's great, and I'm just enjoying the run.
You're really seen as an emerging star on the Bellator card, that they're backing you a lot. How's it feel to be only 20 years old but have such a large target on your head?
Well, you can say I have a target, but that's what I want. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, you're this or that. You know what I mean? I want to fight. I fight for a living. I don't fight, I can't live. I can't make money. I get good money to fight, so I'm going to fucking fight anyone that they come towards me with. So that's just the way it is, and everyone's talking shit, saying this, saying that, but anyone who's talking, I didn't see them when they were 20 years old, packing out a full house in Dublin and holding a whole event on their shoulders at 20 years old and coming out the winner. So I can say what you want.
And what are you expecting from your opponent in this one? I know you were lined up to fight them previously, that didn't come through, you'll finally get your hands on them. What kind of a fight are you thinking you're expected to put on in Belfast?
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. It's a good test for me. He's a solid Thai boxer he's a brown belt and also in Jiu-Jitsu, but I feel that I've been doing a lot of work with my coach Owen Roddy on my striking and then my Jiu-Jitsu games on a whole different level. Brown belt, black belt, whatever colour belt, I'll strangle him if it goes to the ground.
And from your point of view, how great is it to have big promotions like BAMMA, like Bellator, putting on these huge cards on your doorstep?
It's great. Literally, I remember this time last February, I fought on the undercard of BAMMA in Dublin. I got paid fucking €180. They fight on that card, and now I'm co-main event, and you know what I mean, twice in my home country, and earning more than a year's wages in one night. It's great. It's great. I'm just rolling with it and lapping it all up, lapping up the support. And people can travel to come watch me fight, and I'm just enjoying it.
I mean, Ireland's a massive hotbed for MMA right now. Obviously, Connor's doing a lot to promote it around the world. But how does it feel to be a real instigator in the popularity of it over here?
It's great. I mean, you just have to look at the last event, the highest international views ever in Bellator history, ever. Do you know what I mean? And to be so young and able to have that record, do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of big fights, big names, and then to put on a big co-main event, only 4 fights in my career or whatever, and told, alright, you're stepping up now, or took off one card, put on the main event in my home country, and then have the biggest record of views ever. Do you know what I mean? That's something that can't be taken away from me, and I think that hold on to that for life. You know what I mean? And that fills me with pride that people are interested, want to tune in and watch me fight.
Another young star we have here is Reese McKee. Reese, you won the BAMMA Lonsdale lightweight title at our last event. It was a very emotional victory. Your first defence is going to be on February 24th. How are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, feeling good. Everything's going exactly as planned. You know, a good team up there next gen. I'm looking forward to defending the belt. You know, Chris has been about as long as Norman and Paul here, so you know, I'm looking forward to showing that that's where I'm at. You know, I'm up at that level in the elite.
20 years old to have such a title that really puts you on the world stage. You're only 5 fights into your career. How much more do you think we're going to see of you over the years? You're still a very much developing fighter.
Yeah, we're only on 1% of what I can do so far. Mark my words, you know, you're going to see a lot of improvement, even this fight alone, and never mind the next 4 or 5 years. I'm excited to show, and I'm excited to compete here in Belfast.
Yeah, you're another person who's very local. You know, literally 20 minutes up the road from here. How exciting for you to have your first defence, friends, family, a whole crowd behind you?
Perfect, you know, I don't think I could have wrote it any better. For the first defence to be in Belfast is amazing. You know, that last fight, I knew they were coming to Belfast, so I had my eyes set on this already, and once I beat Jai, you know, I called for Belfast. It's meant to be, it's perfect, it's going to be a good defence in my half.
You're someone else I've managed to spend some time with this week as well. We were talking about that title and you know, what these BAMMA titles mean. You know, people who've got these BAMMA titles are at the top in the world. We've seen what other people have gone on to do in the UFC and so forth. So, you know, how much does that title mean to you?
Yeah, it's good. Like Mark Diakese had it last, and look where he's at now. You know, the blueprint's out there. Very much keep the hard work going, keep your feet planted, and you know you're destined for greatness. So, you know, mark my words, I'll be there too. And yeah, I'm looking forward to keep chipping away. You know, I'm looking forward to getting this fight on the go, and I'm ready to roll.
Fantastic. Now, Sinead Cavendish, you're going to be fighting on your second Bellator card. Again, we saw you in the card in Dublin. Took the roof off. The crowd always love your performances. What are you expecting from the Belfast crowd?
Pretty much the same. I reckon people don't know me. They'll see me fight and they'll be like, I'm gonna wow them. They'll be like, wow, who's she? And pretty soon they'll know me then.
And your opponent on this one, what are you expecting from it? It's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, it's every opponent's tough, but just take it in my stride, just do what I'm good at, and just land them punches. That's it.
And again, you're someone we've seen on a lot of the cards that BAMMA and Bellator are putting on over here. How does it feel for you to be part of this huge growing scene and popularity of MMA in Ireland?
Well, I'm just your average Jenny from the block. I don't take that in.
I wouldn't say you're quite average. You're definitely not Jenny from the block.
But yeah, I just yeah, it is what it is. You know, I'm here to fight, and I'm just good at it, and you know, that's it.
I think we can see your feet are firmly planted on.
Yeah, it is.
Andy Young, as Ashley said, Andy, you put on an absolute showcase when we last saw you. Again, someone who's fighting so close to home for a title. How excited are you about going into this one?
Oh, amazing. I mean, obviously Dublin was fantastic, but Belfast is going to be a completely different world for me. Like, it's going to be something I visualised a long time ago. World title, Belfast, Odyssey Arena, and now it's finally happening. So, going to blow the roof off the place. Like, it's going to be outstanding night.
And you're someone I know that, you know, coming into your last round fight, you cleaned up on the silverweight. You know, had a whole host of titles. How much are you looking forward to attempting to add another one to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, after the fight with Rani, went up to the Ukraine and collected another title. Yeah, I'll be getting another one. So, I mean, I'm maybe going to have to get this new nickname, Magpie. I don't know. It might stick. It's not as I don't know. It's not as scary as the Taz, like, but it'll maybe catch on. I don't know.
Is there any room left on your mantelpiece?
I do have room for one more, so that's the BAMMA title, so it'll sit right there. So
squeeze one more in there. And again, you're someone who's going to have a massive home crowd there. You know, people going up. We've seen what the crowds are like in Dublin. What are you expecting the reception to be like in Belfast?
I mean, the fans, you know, Ireland North and South are fantastic. Belfast, so it's a bit of a different breed. You know, everyone's just a bit mental up here. So yeah, it's going to be great. Like, I can't wait for that walkout, especially. It's going to be amazing.
And Decky Dalton, Decky, I've been looking at your social media over the last couple of days. It's almost like you're looking past this fight. You know, you've been calling out some big names, some Jose Aldos, some Dustin Poiriers. Just tell me about that. You know, you're looking for some big fights.
Big fights are the ones that I'm after. You know, every opponent that I take on, I want them to be of a higher caliber and be looking towards bigger fights and bigger events and stuff. So I don't see any point in hanging around, building my record up, and you know, taking easy wins or anything like that. There, may as well look upwards instead of looking, you know, bottom feeding or something like that. There, just picking people up off the bottom and just beating them up. Like, what are you going to gain out of that? Like, what am I going to gain out of that there? So that's kind of what we were looking at.
Jonathan Brookins, you're going to be facing on the 24th. How much of an opponent do you see him? How much of a challenge do you see him as?
It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a tough fight. He's been in there. He's done more rounds than me, and he's been around for you know, a lot longer than me. But I think it's a challenge. I'm well capable of dealing with, and you know, hopefully it's an exciting fight, and I get to showcase a couple more skills that I haven't been able to put on the, you know, on the radar, and yeah, hopefully exciting.
And again, you're calling out you know, big name fighters like Jose Aldo. Are those the kind of fighters that you see yourself on a level with?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, there's guys out there that are ruffling feathers and talking about high caliber fighters and trying to get fights with them. So I don't see why me doing it is any different than other people doing it, and that's what's going to catapult me to the top a lot quicker than messing around again and you know, looking for wins and stuff. I'm not really here to build up an undefeated record. I'm here to put myself and, you know, my family and stuff like that there, and my friends and my fans, a very proud fan base. When I get in there, it almost seems like they're in there with me, you know. I'm doing it for a lot of the fellas that don't have the opportunity to get in the ring, but they still love the sport and stuff like that too. So I wouldn't be far-fetched in saying that one of the best fighters out there. I just haven't proved it yet. Haven't had the support. All this up till now I've done myself, you know. Going away to training, I sold cars, got flights, took myself away from my own home and all. It's all been me, it hasn't been anyone else doing this. And I have help now, like, and I really appreciate all the help that I'm getting. So it's just putting all the pieces together, I take it, and coming out the other end, isn't it?
And do you feel that on February 24th here in Belfast that that's an opportunity for you to show everyone how good you are?
Yeah, well, every opportunity that you get into the cage, you get the chance to show the fans, the media, the other fighters, gyms, you know, what you can do. Everyone, you can be in the gym every day and be great and get into the ring and be like a wet lettuce, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really, you know, there's gym fighters and there's fight fighters, and it's just getting the good balance of getting your training right and knowing your body. Every fight you have, you know a bit more about yourself. When you lose, you learn a lot more about yourself than what you do when you win. So, no, I'm looking forward to fighting in front of all my fans and stuff like that there. And after this fight, taking on a bigger name and then a bigger name again, and putting the work in. So, yeah, that's.
Decky versus Aldo. Can't wait for that one. Right, guys, any questions from you? Anyone would like to ask a question to anyone up here?
Peter, from you. Firstly, actually, obviously everybody knows it's a growing sport. Everybody's seen it on television, but what's the difference? What's so special about this live show? Why did you buy a ticket for the 2014?
Well, I mean, just looking across the table, here's good enough reasons. I mean, you know, we're talking about, we've got about, in total with a Bellator card, we'll be looking at around about 17 fights, something like that, and you know, we're talking probably about 6 or 7 up here, and you've already heard the stories, the background, everything that's going on here, and you know, anybody that's been to a live MMA event will know it's a different world than watching it on telly. There's nothing like witnessing it live. It's a sport that should be watched live. And I think anybody who came to the last show in Dublin, you know, sat there and had 6-7 hours of pure entertainment. We put on a big show, you know, between us and Bellator we bring everything from the screens, the AV, the sound systems, everything's big. You know, that's why we choose to do arenas. We wouldn't be in Belfast or anywhere other than the SSE. It's the only place we would come to, and it will be in there, and it will be the big show in there. So it will rock, it will be amazing, it will be incredible, it will be an experience. You know, we think we've priced it really well with €35 upwards, and I think for what you get, 6-7 hours, you know, these guys putting it on the line, you know, it's just a fantastic night out. So, you know, I recommend anybody, if you haven't been seen it live, get down there, 24th, you know, it's an event you shouldn't be missing.
Hugh, really already we're having massive interest today. We've got questions, thank you very much, from some fans. So particularly Chris and Liam, they can put questions. I remember these are from fans, observations, not from me. Firstly, Chris, one message here. Liam, not the fighter he used to be. It's going to be an easy night for you. What do you think of that?
Who's not the fighter? I'm not, or Liam?
No, Liam.
Liam's not the fighter?
That's what the fans said. I'll be with you in a minute, Liam.
Well, like I said, I've been watching Liam for a long time. I haven't seen his skill level drop off. You know, look, that's Liam's business to deal with that. I don't know, he can answer that question. For me, looking at him, he looks the same as he's been all along.
Okay, Liam, if you want to answer that then. Well, yep, you're not the fighter you used to be, according to a fan of Chris's.
You definitely didn't ask that question, by the way. That's definitely from a fan.
I'm sure. I actually texted that in myself just to cause an awkward situation.
As they say, you're only as good as your last fight, you know. And I made a lot of mistakes in my fight camp. You know, I kind of crammed everything in. I freaked out that I was fighting such a top caliber fighter after sitting on my sofa for so long. The injury played a lot of it. And I literally just jumped into training. I was training 4 times a day. I got into the ring, or into the cage, started throwing my first punch, and I was like, oh, these boys will know when you're tired and you're drained and you start throwing punches and it's working up here, but it's not coming out here or down there, and it's like, you're in for a hard night. And unfortunately, going up against Phil Davies is the wrong kind of person to have the wrong kind of night against. And he did what he did. His wrestling is... His wrestling's on point, you know. It's you can't take away from that. It just wasn't my night. I had the best of Phil Davies, and he had about 60% of me. So I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Fair enough. Here's one from a Liam fan. A Liam fan. Now, apparently, Chris did not turn up for an event today that you were at, and the question is he running scared?
Is this the one that you was on about?
I'm sitting here. I'm the worst runner ever if I'm sitting beside him. I'm scared. Like.
Clearly you think that's not the case. What do you think of that?
No, I don't even know what he's talking about. What did he say?
Because earlier on today in an interview that I think Chris was due to turn up. He didn't turn up. Why not? That's the question.
I think we missed a bus maybe. I don't know.
Chris, in answer to the Liam fan, why did you not turn up then?
Because I was stuck in traffic.
If I can turn to the guys from this part of the world, and you've all spoken very well about it, so if you ever want to answer, Norman, how important is it to have your home fans here? How big a deal is it?
It's huge, you know. As I said before, the last fight I had here was 2010, 2011, so I mean, Dublin's basically home, you know, so I've already felt what that was like the last couple of years. But to bring it to Belfast, where, you know, all my friends used to always say, when's your next fight? Oh, I'm going to be fighting Brazil, I'm going to be fighting in Manchester. When are you going to fight close to home? So there's no excuse here to buy a ticket, you know, it's like basically just up the road, an hour up the road. So there's a great crowd going so far, and it's just amazing to have, you know, the home support. It definitely pushes you on during the fight if you're getting it tough, for sure. You know, you either feed off it or else it can go against you, but I feed off that there. So I don't really mind fighting in territory, you know, enemy territory at all. I can fight anywhere, to be honest, but to fight close to home is something special, and to have my friends, most of my friends and my family, and my whole support, it's unbelievable, so I'm looking forward to it.
And this north-south element, it's going to be a big deal?
Well, it sells to a lot of people, you know. You know, the promotion understood that, you know, everybody here understands it, you know, who's the next guy you're fighting. I said to my friends, I'm fighting Paul Redmond from Dublin. Alright, I see, yep. So they get that, you know, but I get that also. But for me, it's just two really good martial artists going at it. I mean, as I said before, I have huge respect for Paul. My coach and his coach are pretty friendly, you know. We've been around the circuit for a long time, and it's just a matter of time before the fight actually happened. And you know, saying that, you know, I was offered to grapple Paul in the grappling competition before, but you know, I was injured sometimes, maybe had a fight coming up, he was injured, so here we are, we get to see who the best man is on the night, so may the best man win.
And to be fair, Paul, it'll be like a home gig for you as well, really.
Yeah, I think it's silly to sort of state the whole north-south thing. It's ridiculous, you know. It's, like Norman said, it's two lads going in there. We're going to see who the best man is in the night, and then we're going to go for a drink after. It's no big deal, you know. We've known Norman a long time, friends with Norman, and that's it.
You'll be buying the first drink, then Paul will lose it.
Any other questions from fans or from yourself?
Yeah. Chris, obviously it was disappointing 12 months, but what was your immediate reaction when you heard that, first of all, Bellator wanted you to fight, and second of all, to headline the show?
Yes. They were like, do you want to fight Liam McGeary? I was like, yes. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I want to fight Liam McGeary? Like, why do lads want to do this sport and fight a lot of bums and try and look cool to their friends and have like records where they've just beat guys with losing records or whatever? Liam's a top competitor and 100% someone I want to fight. Like, that's who I want to fight. They're the guys I want to fight. I want to prove to everyone how good I am. So my reaction was yes and smiley face. Basically, emoji.
And a question for Sinead. Obviously, since joining MMA, your rise has been brilliant. Do you think 2017 will be the year where you get a world title shot that you definitely deserve?
Yeah, I'd love a world title shot. A few more fights down the line, and yeah, I reckon that's going to be mine. I read some interview during the week there, and I was really happy about saying I'm going to be a household name in 2019, so watch this space.
And finally for Norman, obviously you're very experienced mixed martial artists. Just from looking at it far, what do you make of the whole BAMMA promotion and what they've been doing in the last couple of years?
I think what they've been doing has been great, you know. You just got to look at the crowds that they've been pulling in Dublin, you know, the 3 arenas, like what, 6,000 to 7,000 fans. You know, they don't even pull that. The last time they pulled something like that was whenever the big crowd that they pulled was Alex Reid. I think, you know, that was one of the biggest shows they ever had. So, but they know what's happening here now, and they know the popularity of the sport. They know how much it's advanced though. It's not hard to know why they keep coming back, you know. I'm feeling very optimistic that Belfast is going to do the same, so they can keep this thing going like north-south, you know, just keep switching it about every now and again and give these young lads here the prospects, the platform to rise onto bigger things, you know. But this, you know, BAMMA is a big deal. It's one of the biggest shows in Europe, if not the biggest show in Europe, and now that they're joined with Bellator, it's going to just make things a little bit more exciting, especially for the young lads like, you know, James, Andy and that killer at the bottom, Reece McKee. So it's great for them to give them that platform. Now they can feed off this here and maybe jump into Bellator or wherever they want to go after that. So I think it's a good thing that they're joined together.
Any further questions? Any questions from fans?
Come on.
Right, I think that might be us then, guys. So, oh no, one at the back.
How's it going? This one's for Norman and Paul. Is there big pressure on you boys coming off from the UFC? No disrespect to Bellator, it's a great company, but coming onto this stage and people looking at you as actual UFC guys, is there any pressure you feel that you are headlining the card?
No, I don't think there's any pressure at all. I don't even feel any pressure from leaving the UFC. Like maybe coming into my last fight against Andrew Fisher, I did, you know, I'm going to be honest, I took the fight very, very lightly, you know, and that was a huge wake-up call, you know, for me. You know, as a fighter, you got to make sure in your head that you get every area covered in martial arts. You can't go in there prepared in one area, because it can come back on you in the fight. It can backfire, and that's what happened. So I dug deep, but I don't think there's any pressure. This is just, you know, Paul's coming off a great win against Chris Stringer. You know, I watched that fight a few times. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen him in, and and I'm coming off a lackluster fight, but you can look at all my fights in the UFC who I fought, I was never out of place against any of them, and some of the as we say, some of the decisions could have went my way, but there's no denying that I was the one who fought one of the toughest lads in the promotion. But no, I don't really see it as any pressure at all. I just see two good martial artists just going in there and putting on a great fight. That's it. If I can put on a great fight, the fight that in my head I want to put on, I'll be very happy with that, and I'm sure the fans will be happy with that. So that's the most important thing for me at this moment in time, is just to go on and put on a good show for the fans, because I feel like certain matchups that I was given in the UFC, most people never really have good fights against them either, so it's like, it's very, very hard when you get two strong grapplers. It's not really a good fight, but I'm hoping me and Paul here can, we're primarily grapplers, wrestling grapplers, but we can strike as well, so I'm hoping this fight can maybe be a good striking match for the fans.
Yeah, it would be a little bit different mindset, to be honest, in terms of every fight that you have, there's always that little bit of pressure. It doesn't matter if it's in the UFC, Bellator, BAMMA, any fight you have, every fighter's going to put pressure on themselves. So yeah, there is that sort of element of pressure going into it. But like Norman said, I would rather put on a really good fight that fans go away and think, what, that was the best fight of the night. I would rather be in a fight like that than being in a lackluster fight and people just forgetting about it or wanting to go for a drink in the middle of it, So if the two of us can put on fight of the night, we'll be happy with that.
And I hope there's a bonus along with that, actually.
50 G's!
Do either you see yourselves back in the UFC?
To be honest, straight from my heart, like when I got released, I was pissed, because I just signed a new contract, and they offered me someone no one wanted to fight, Rustam Kobalov. I felt confident I could beat him, and it was a close fight, and then you get released from that. So, but now I'm over that. I'm by that stage, I'm just happy where I'm at the moment. You can never look back too far and think, and be negative with the whole thing. You've got to get over it. I'm already over that, and I can see that there's I can see I envision something from this. I want to win this fight here. Who knows? The Bellator lightweight titles there. The division's there. It's not a deep division. UFC, you got top 50 fighters. Maybe top 30 of them are good fighters. The rest are just that I would whip. But look at Bellator. There's only top 10 fighters and the most of even that. And I trained with the lightweight champion Michael Chandler before, so there's no problem there if that opportunity ever comes. So I'm pretty confident that whether me and Paul could slot right in there, and I would be more than happy with that.
Great, thanks. That's all we've got time for, guys. So thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you everyone for coming. We've now got some fighter face-offs, so yeah, let's crack on with that.